Daddy's Home 2 stars Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, Mel Gibson, and John Lithgow. In a sequel meant for the holidays, much like A Bad Mom's Christmas, especially when it comes down to the parents visiting, because that's exactly what happened with A Bad Mom's Christmas. This is like the male version of A Bad Mom's Christmas, I swear. No real plot direction, no real reason for the movie to exist in the first place. We've already seen the butting heads of Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. The whole point of the first movie is they butt heads, they butt heads, they butt heads until they're friends, much like Step Brothers. Bringing in the two dads should have done something similar, them butting heads. What they did in this movie instead was Mel Gibson, who plays the father of Mark Wahlberg, basically makes him retreat to his old self so that Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell could butt heads again, which we've already seen, so let's get into it. Alright, starting off with the people category, we're looking at the acting, which of course isn't really all that great. It is a comedy, it's Will Ferrell, 1 out of 2. Unfortunately, comedies do rely a lot on characters, and do you really remember these movies for the characters, or do you remember these movies for the casting? Oh, that's that Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg movie, 1 out of 2. Casting, on the other hand, you do remember the movie for the casting. The casting is kind of perfect for who they're trying to have these characters be, 2 out of 2. I can't really say that there's much importance from the characters, maybe from Mel Gibson's character. The importance between Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell has been dealt with in the first movie, so we don't care so much about their importance anymore. It really relies on Mel Gibson, and nobody else is important. 1 out of 2. Chemistry-wise, I was expecting more from the two dads butting heads, but as it is, I think for the most part, everybody does work well with each other. 2 out of 2. Next up is the writing score. Nothing about the dialogue stands out. You don't think there's any one-liners or quotes that you're going to be saying after the movie's done. 1 out of 2. The balance of the movie, like I said, there isn't really any clear direction of the movie. No real goals that anyone's heading to. Balance only gets 1 out of 2. Story depth, you can't really say it's really all that deep, can you? 1 out of 2. Is it original? No. 1 out of 2. Is it interesting? In the fact that it's a sequel to this movie, I guess 1 out of 2. BTS. Now, this movie is as advertised as you would expect it to be. It is exactly what you think it's going to be for the most part, so advertising gets 2 out of 2. Everything else in this subcategory, average, typical, what you would expect, and they all get half points. A little bit better with the narrative arc. The introduction reintroduced you to the fathers, as well as introduced you to the new fathers. 2 out of 2. The inciting incident is ultimately when both the dads come to the house. The obstacles are the hilarity and the heads butting where the heads butt. 2 out of 2. There is a pretty decent culmination of things towards the end that feels like a bigger scene than anything else in the movie. So climax gets 2 out of 2. Following action, I can't really say too much. There is and there isn't. There are things that calm down and sort of return to a new norm, but for the most part, it doesn't really feel like it returns to a new norm, in my opinion. So that only gets 1 out of 2. It's somewhat rewatchable. It's not terrible, terrible, terrible. 1 out of 2. Fun experience. Some parts of the movie, to me, are kind of funny and fun to watch, but there's a lot of missed jokes, there's a lot of flat lines, and for that I only have to give fun experience 1 out of 2. Everything else in the entertainment department gets 0, especially score. Alright, first off, how does this feel as a Daddy's Home movie? Does it feel like it fits in with the universe that was created in Daddy's Home? It's pretty easy to feel like it fits, so 10 out of 10. As a sequel, does it add anything new? To that one I would have to say yes and no. Yes, it adds the dads of the dads. As far as the actual structure of the movie, no. So that gets 5 out of 10. As a comedy, like I said, it does have some missed opportunities, some flat lines. 5 out of 10. Now, I'm one of the few fans of Will Ferrell. This is one of those movies that is fine for him as a performance, but it is quite forgettable. 5 out of 10 for Will Ferrell. halfway decent. I think for the most part that the filmmakers made the movie that they wanted to make, which does deserve credit, even though I don't think it's the greatest movie in general. However, because they made the movie that they wanted to make, I give them credit for that, and I will give this 10 out of 10. If we add up all those points, we get 64 out of 100 possible stars. 64%. Guys, tell me what you thought of Daddy's Home 2 in the comments down below. And you can follow me on Trek.tv and Twitter at the username IAMDWG. And always on YouTube, you can hit subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the bell to be notified when I come out with my next review, which won't be until next week. And until then, guys, peace out and have a good day.